Four-time Madden champ Pavan here. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the only Madden 25 regs guide that you're going to need. I'm going to be going over the best teams, the best schemes that you can run with these teams, and ultimately how to get more wins in Madden 25 regs. Let's get straight in the video now. Getting straight into it, the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the game. If you have the option to pick them, you're going to want to pick them every time. Their speed is unmatched. They have Xavier Worthy, the fastest receiver in the game, alongside having Patrick Mahomes, horror master, dashing deadeye, pass lead elite, 87 speed. He's a 95 overall. The Chiefs are so elite and effective because of their speed advantages with Xavier Worthy. But playing against the Chiefs is not fun. You're going to have to play backed off coverage. They're banned in a lot of comp scenes and tournaments for very good reason. But if you have the chance to use them, you use them every single time. Another amazing team is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. This team also gets banned a lot in some of the comp scenes. It's too much of a headache to deal with. You have Lamar Jackson with 96 speed, and then you have Derrick Henry. So if you love running the ball, whether it be your QB or your running back, this team is for you. Derrick Henry's insane. He's a 99 overall, breaks almost every tackle in regs. Instead of having Mark Andrews and a pretty solid O-line, this team is really good and annoying to play besides, Lamar and Derrick Henry is their defense. They have a lot of speed on defense, having Roquan Smith, Owe, and then your cornerbacks. So you have some elite cornerbacks on this Baltimore Ravens team with Marlon Humphrey having, deep route KO, short route KO, running a lot of man coverage with them, alongside Nate Wiggins with the 96 speed. And then obviously Kyle Hamilton, 6'4". If you run a lot of man coverage, this team is made for you. They're very tough to be in regs. So I got those two teams out the way early because they get banned a lot. And what that means is, like, if you're playing a money game or a tournament, dudes do not want to deal with, 98 speed Worthy or 99 overall Derrick Henry. So they just go ahead and ban those two teams. These next three teams are the most balanced and they go unbanned, and, you can use them in any setting. The first team we're going to talk about is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. But why you're probably going to want to use this team is Saquon Barkley. 98 overall, 93 speed. He has evasive, leapfrog, and energizer. Amazing receiver trio. They're not necessarily fast, but they have really good abilities. A.J. Brown is going to have wide receiver apprentice. Devontae Smith is going to have mid-out elite. Their corners are crazy. They have Darius Slay, Quinion Mitchell, flat zone KO and acrobat, 94 speed, absolute beast. Isaiah Rodgers, 94 speed. Ringo, 94 speed. A lot of speed with this Eagles secondary. Like I said, I would put Cooper DeJean maybe at free safety. Let him patrol the outfield and make some really nice plays with that speed. The Eagles, how are you going to want to play with them on offense and defense? On offense, you're probably going to want to have A.J. Brown in the slot or in a spot where you could have the zig routes. I mentioned he has a wide receiver apprentice, one of the very few receivers in regs to have wide receiver apprentice. You're going to have to 100% utilize it, right? We're going to have to put him on the zig route. It's one of the best routes in the game versus man and zone. Definitely going to have to utilize this short underneath passing pattern. Like I said, the zig route, just so good versus man and zone. But with the Eagles, you're going to be playing pretty slow. I wouldn't say necessarily really slow, but pretty slow compared to someone like the Chiefs, the Ravens. One big reason is Jalen Hurts hot routes. If you played with Jalen Hurts before, you know how long it takes for him to hot route. It's quite a bit long. So, if you have a lot of patience, if you want to play very slow, run the ball, go underneath, do your zig routes, the Eagles are your team. As long as you're able to incorporate Saquon with his evasive ability, you're going to be fine and you're going to win a lot of your games using these Philadelphia Eagles. As for defense, you have a lot of versatility. Fast linebackers, fast D-line, fast corners, and safeties. The defense you're really going to want to look into running is going to be like a hybrid type of defense where you're running a lot of man and zone. You could do things like this where you're going to do safety thirds to cover that sideline. And then you could even do things like this, where you're manning up your slots and your safeties, running like a cover 2 man up on one side and then a cover 2 on the other. There's really a lot of things you could do with this Eagles team. They get a lot of good pass rush, and they have elite players everywhere. Getting into our second team, if you are a pass-first guy, love to air it out, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are your team. I love using this team. They have Baker Mayfield, who has pass lead elite, one of the best passing abilities in the game, behind probably Gunslinger, into why a lot of people use the Bucs. Their receivers. You got Mike Evans with 92 speed, 94 overall, really good abilities, red zone threat if you get stuck in the red zone. Chris Godwin, he's going to have slot-o-matic. Obviously, you're going to want to put him in the slot. And Trey Palmer, 95 speed, no abilities, but he is a speed demon. He's going to be put on your go routes. But, their defense definitely struggles. Diaby's 89 speed, pretty fast. And their secondary, it's actually not as bad as their linebackers and defensive ends, right? You're going to have Jamal Dean and Zion McCollum, pretty elite, cornerbacks, nice height and speed combo. And then you're going to have Winfield as well, and he has acrobat, might get a couple acrobat picks for you. So we're going to be in a pass-first offense with the Buccaneers. If you're a guy that's not comfortable passing all the plays, every play, you don't have to run this team. But this team, you're going to be scoring a lot of points. You're going to be getting the ball in those tight spaces with that pass lead elite. Solid offense would be the gun bunch, right? We have a speed demon in Trey Palmer. We have elite receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin that can get open versus man coverage. And then we're going to have Baker Mayfield, who has a little bit of speed, but can also zip that ball into those tight windows, getting you the yards that you need every single down. So like I said, if you're not comfortable passing every play, do not really want to suggest running this team. I personally run them. I love them. I love the pacing you get. You score a lot of points with them. So on the defensive side of things, you are going to be wanting to run some type of send 3, send 4, send 5 defense, right? Nothing more than that. And then you're really hardly going to want to run man coverage. You're going to want to run zone and utilize Zion McCollum, Antoine Winfield, Levante David with the mid-zone KO, and then Jamal Dean. And a perfect defense you could run is this 3-3-5 odd crossfire. Make sure you turn on the baseline. But literally, just going to want to press, maybe spread your D-line once in a while if they're rolling out. Contain or, send your guys on pass rush depending on how fast their QB is. And like I said, some plays run a cover 4, some plays run a cover 3, and then some plays just run a cover 2. It's that simple with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You really can't get more in-depth than that. And you're going to see some decent results. As long as you're able to score every possession, you're going to get some sheds, play some good zone coverage defense, and really just emphasize on making tackles and getting your opponents to 4th downs. The last team, really, really good team. The Texans are back. The Texans, this is a more defensive team. If you struggle on defense and you really need your defense to get sheds, this is the team you're going to want to play with. CJ Stroud, he's going to have fearless inside deadeye and lofting deadeye. Running back, 94 overall, Joe Mixon. I didn't know he was this high of an overall, but guess what? He's going to have backfield master. So really effective, really great ability. You could create a lot of plays with those running back corner routes, angle routes, just really good 3-receiver combo. You can't really ask for much else. Nico Collins has that outside apprentice. He's going to be on your outside receiver on those deep dig routes and, those corner routes. Into why you're going to want to use the Texans. Will Anderson, edge threat, 87 speed, 88 overall. Danielle Hunter, speedster. He's a beast as well. 91 overall, 88 speed. Corners, they have Derek Stingley, who's going to have deep out zone KO. Yeah, you've seen that right. You're not going to be able to throw deep balls on this guy. 93 speed, 93 overall, 6 foot. He's a beast. I'm going to be focusing with Derek Stingley, Jalen Petrie, and that pass rush. Jimmy Ward's a good pickup as well. I suggest running something like bunch tight end or, trips tight end, where you're going to get those running back angle routes and extra running back routes alongside having, Nico Collins on the outside with his outside apprentice. And just keeping it simple. A lot of RPOs, a lot of inside zones, and a lot of play action. The basic trips tight end concept where we do something like this, right? Get Joe Mixon the ball out the backfield. In the bunch tight end, right, we have our boot over play that's really good and effective. You can try to get outside the pocket, make some nice reads because you do have a little bit of mobility, a little bit of speed with CJ Stroud. Keep it simple. Really focus in on Nico Collins, Diggs, and Joe Mixon on offense. And for defense with these Texans, there's a couple options you can run. 6-1 is an amazing option because they have really good linebackers alongside DNs. Running a lot of match and trying to get Anderson and Danielle Hunter on 3rd and long situations where you could just pass commit and let them go crazy. Pass commit, it's a 4-man rush, and you're going to see we're going to end up getting great match coverage all across the board. We didn't get sheds, but, with a 4-man rush, eventually we will hit home. You see right here, they ended up coming in. The match coverage is just amazing. Everything is covered. You have great linebackers, good corners, and that's what you really ideally what you're going to want to run with this team is a lot of match and just focusing in on Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. Enjoyed this guide and want a part 2 where I give you some regs gameplay and break down some of the chess match. Smash that like button, comment that you want to see that, Till next time, go check out the Madden Academy now. We have free courses to help you better and improve your game and get to that next level. Catch you guys in the next video. Till then, peace.